You know, Splatoon 3 is chaotic when Nintendo can't decide between shoes or sandals. Because what are those? Hey yo gamers, it's Pufuu here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an in-depth analysis and breakdown of the Splatoon 3 battle aspect. So without further ado, let's get to it! Did you see that? Exactly. This game has a ton of new graphical improvements, and one of the first things you'll notice is that take a look at that ink animation. My guy, that is just... mwah. So good, so good. You could just see like the ink like flying everywhere, and like look at that, the gulps and stuff. It's so good. Like I don't know what they're using. They're using some new engine or something, but it looks really good, right? You might not notice this, but look at that. That right there. That right there. Right here. The Inklings in this game have a new model. I don't think we had Inklings with a collarbone previously in any of the games. And in this game, you can see that there is, well, the squids now have a collarbone. Squids don't have bones, but I don't know, Nintendo's adding collarbones to their Inklings now. And this is just to show you how much the game...
They have one bone?
What do you mean they have one bone? They have zero.
But have a small internal skeleton in the form of a rod like gladius or pen, made of chitin.
Callie said they had no bones. Okay then, whatever. Squids in Splatoon don't have bones. But I guess Nintendo's like, never mind, they have a collarbone now. And that indicates a couple things. Number one, we have a new model for the Inklings, actually. You also see that they have like a better poly count, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like they have a new face rig as well, because there is way more expression in that. If you look at Splatoon 1 Inklings, they got some pretty stern looking faces. Yeah. And yeah, so we definitely have some new face rigs on our Inklings as well, and then we also have collarbones. So there's a lot of new things that they added, graphical improvements to the game. It's crazy. The lighting looks great. This new game also has a better depth perception. I think that's the term. You could clearly tell that by the background, it looks like it's really blurry, and then it looks way better. The game looks graphically way better too. Like, look at that metal texture, all the reflections on it, everything about it, super pretty. Yo, did you see that? Wait. What? Oh no! I saw something. Yo, she just slammed her spawn pad with her bucket. Girl, this girl's wildin', my guy. You also, yeah, there's a couple other things I want to mention out too. Look at her tentacle. The amount of like circles or rings or whatever those things are called, there's a lot of them now. Like in Splatoon 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure there's only like a couple of those there. And we also get to look at these shoes. Oh man, look at these shoes. They have fabric fold. A lot of shoes in Splatoon 1, I don't think they had like any sort of fabric fold on them. This game, the amount of poly counts definitely has improved. Like, look at these shoes. These shoes, man, they got their folds. Okay, this scene, a lot of things going on. There's a spawn pad down here. A lot of people have mentioned this before. This could indicate a couple of things. One, are they usable? I mean, they're covered up right now with tarp, so that leads me to believe that they probably will be usable in Turf Wars, but maybe in other modes like Tower Control or Rainmaker, we could possibly see these spawn pads being used instead of the floating ones. What you also notice is that there's a circular ring and it shrinks, indicating that when it shrinks to basically nothing, that's when your character will jump. So it looks like you have a set amount of time before your character has to super jump into the stage. Okay, so this is actually one of our screenshots of, or at least this is one of our first scenes that we get to see the game in a third-person view, or what the gameplay will look like. It doesn't have the UI or anything, but what you can see though is that this is what the perspective of how we're gonna play the game in the perspective of third person. Look at the reflective surfaces of the hair. I don't know about you, but ever since Splatoon 1, it seems that Nintendo keeps on adding more of these circles onto the Inkling's hair every single game. Like, look, here's an example. I got my Splatoon 1 amiibo right here, right? See the amount of circles she has? Not that many. And if you don't believe me, I have even a Figma. These are definitely really well detailed, so look at her hair. Not that much. But compared to this girl over here, Splatoon 3, whoa, okay, the amount of like circles on her hair just extended all the way up to her ears now. Like it's like all the way up there. Man, Nintendo's really adding circles to their games. Hey gamers. Well, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do for my call to action, huh? You want me to be like, consider subscribing to my channel, leave a like and comment below. I do Splatoon 3 content. Ooh, alright. There's a couple things that I got pointed out about this, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this scene. That, right there. It's basically substrafing, but maybe there's a new ability associated with it. Now, if you don't know what substrafing is, it's a kind of a movement option that's pretty well known and used in the oh my god, no. You could cut that out, right? That's used in the competitive Splatoon scene. A lot of people did mention this, that hey, this is basically substrafing, but there's like some ink right there. There's some ink that twirls around the squid itself. Could we deflect attacks, maybe block them out? There's a chance that we could, I don't know, block out like some shots, or maybe we could like reduce the damage that we intake. Who knows? There's some sort of dodging ability with it for sure. I want to bring to light that there's something no pun intended, there might be an ability associated with the bow, and I'll explain why. So take a look at the bow. Okay, so in this scene we get a closer look at the Splat Bow. There's a couple things I want to point out. So number one, when the Inkling is jumping, they actually aim the bow vertically, but when they are just on the ground stationary wise, it's horizontal. So that covers a couple of things. I guess when you're using the weapon, for example, if you wanted to shoot all 3 shots in a wider area, then you would not jump, and that would allow you to shoot in 3 directions in a horizontal way. But if you wanted to hit your opponents on a higher plane, then you would jump, making your shots go vertical. So it looks like the bow will have multiple purposes. We could either cover a large area, but we could only hit our shot once at an opponent, or you could jump vertically, and then you could shoot all your 3 shots into one direction, and if someone is unfortunate enough on the receiving end of 3 shots, then they will probably get splatted. So it's actually a really unique weapon, and I'm really glad Nintendo decided to stick with this sort of different format where the bow changes its position depending on if you're jumping or you're staying stationary. So I can definitely see this weapon being used in a lot of scenarios, especially possibly when you're ledge guarding. No, ledge guarding is a Smash term. You know what I mean. That's another move. This one is called a Squid Surge. So a Squid Surge basically lets you jump really high off of walls. So if you swim up a wall and maybe you click B or some sort of other button, it'll allow you to do a Squid Surge, which lets you jump really high into the air and attack opponents. Now this can mean 2 things. If there is a charger or a splatling or someone with really good aim, and they can predict that you're jumping into the air, they'll be able to spot you. So there is a lot of risk, but the reward is quite high because it gives you 2 maneuver options. How are you going to approach an opponent? Will you just simply go off the ledge, or will you just fly really high into the sky and then aim from above? So there's a lot of different positioning options that you have now in the game, which is actually really useful, especially for competitive Splatoon players. Oh, right there. Our Inkling here is activating their special, and it looks like they have the Inkzooka, or a remaster version of it. The Inkzooka, instead of shooting a giant tornado or a swirl of ink towards your opponents, it seems that you're shooting 3 spinning orbs of some sort. They have an actual impact damage, so I'm assuming that if you don't actually hit directly onto your opponents, you will still deal damage to them. Ooh, get a closer look at the Inkzooka. Okay, when you shoot, you see these 3 globs of inks, and then they bam, look at that impact. If anyone's in that radius, they'll probably get damaged. So we definitely have a bigger blast radius compared to a lot of other special weapons. What you also notice with the Inkzooka is that there's actually these 3 slots right here, and as she shoots her last target, the bottle flies out. So that means that you only get 3 shots with the Inkzooka. Similar to the bubbler, in a sense. You have to be careful with when you shoot and where you shoot, so definitely more tactical. So we get a closer look at the stage that Nintendo has provided us with. It definitely matches the chaotic theme. You can already tell by the aesthetic of everything here. A lot of the stage actually is really, really high. It really emphasizes the new ability of a Squid Surge. It looks like for most of the game, we will have to be using Squid Surges to traverse the stage because a majority of it is high towers. And if you want to get on top, you're going to have to do a Squid Surge or something like that. So it looks like Nintendo's really trying to emphasize that new movement option in the game, which is really neat. So not much happens here. Oh, and take a look at that. We get a look at our new special weapon. It is a crab. And you'll notice that there is actually 3 type of, what is that, like holes, I guess? Cannons? It has 3 cannons, so it looks like it's shooting out 3 sort of projectiles, which is pretty cool. And our crab actually walks as well. Let's take a look at that. It's walking outside. Alright gamers, and that concludes my analysis and breakdown of the Splatoon 3 trailer. So if you're interested in more content, remember to subscribe, leave a like, and comment below. Until next time, Pufuu offline. And I'm gonna head out like this crab. Whoa, but wait. I got a friend who works at Nintendo who has provided me with screenshots of Splatoon 3, like screenshots no one has ever seen before. For legal reasons, this is a joke. But subscribe if you want to see them, because they're pretty cool. I mean, take a look at them. Aren't they neat? Anyways, until next time, Pufuu offline.